All right, here we are. So, starting the next project. And it's going to be a big one. I don't think it's going to be too hard, but it's going to take a little time. And that is the 1842 Springfield rifled musket. Yep, we're ready to start that here tonight. Just a little bit, just a little information. The 1842 Springfield musket they were originally, I think there was like a little over 250,000 of these things produced. They were 69 caliber. They were smooth bore. That's what they began out as. Most of them were smooth bores. They were the first musket that had completely interchangeable parts. And they were produced at Harper's Ferry, I think Springfield. And at some point they were never intended to be a rifled musket. But they did convert some over to be rifled. And I'm not sure if they just rifled the barrel or not. I'm not sure about that point, but I'd imagine it's probably what they did. The rifling was done at 5, I think, arsenals, Springfield, Harper's Ferry, Benicia, Frankford, and what was the other one? St. Louis. In St. Louis. So that was the 5. And there were about 44,000 roughly converted to be rifled. And I think of those, like around 20-some thousand actually had a rear sight. So, being a smoothbore musket, they would only had a front sight, no rear sight. But even of the ones that got rifled, only about half, roughly, of the 44,000, or roughly half, had a laddered rear sight. So something, that you flip up like a ladder and you could shoot long range with. Now, what's interesting is that I think it was James Burton who was the armorer or something like that, master armorer, I think, at Harper's Ferry. He actually commented that the 1842 Springfield musket being rifled now, a rifled Springfield 1842 in 69 caliber, was much more accurate than the 58 caliber. Don't know why, but it was. But the problem that he saw, that he thought it was just a little bit too much of a punch for your standard soldier. And there's a lot difference between carrying a, let's say 20 to 40 rounds of 69 caliber ball, which I believe is like a 702 or over a 700 grain ball. So like a quarter ounce of lead. So about a quarter ounce of lead for every, I think it's something like that, about approximately. So it was a lot heavier to carry, 20 to 40 rounds of the Springfield or of the 69 caliber as opposed to the 58 caliber, even though the 69 caliber is a lot more accurate. So, why, Brian, did you go with a 69 caliber Springfield, rifled musket instead of just a smooth bore? Well, here's the reason why. I got plenty of smooth bores. I just picked up a Charlottesville last year. I kind of did some just pictures. I didn't do the whole process, but I got it from one of those Indian made ones and totally redid it, made it look like it should. And I had a bunch of smooth bore muskets. It is probably more proper if you're going to be a reenactor to actually have a smooth bore musket as opposed to a rifled. But just something called to me, 69 caliber rifled musket. Now, am I going to fire a 69 caliber rifled mini ball out of that? Well, I might try it once or twice, but I'm going to tell you what, I have a 65 caliber smooth bore, and I fire a tight ball out of it. It's an officer's fusel. It'll knock you like a mule kicking you. So I'm probably going to fire a round ball out of it because it's a lot less in the grains. And I got to find one of those, probably like a 680, 685, somewhere in there, patched. But that's probably what I end up firing out of it. But let's take a look at the kit. That's kind of the general information. So let's take a look at this baby and see what she looks like. All right, so here we go. This is the kit as it comes from Traditions. All right. And why do I opt for a kit? Well, because I want to make my gun look like a real musket. So I'm going to age the parts a little bit. I got a whole process I can talk about that, because you can see. So this was the part that happened. So I got this kit originally, and this was all messed up because this hole right here was over drilled and there was no threads in it. So of course the tank screw, which holds the back of your barrel in, yeah, it didn't work. So I had to send away, and hey, Traditions did awesome. I called them and I sent the part out the next day, and they had it back to me in about 2 weeks. And I think they actually probably just took this off of one of their actual probably guns they're selling, because as you can see, everything else except for the lock, all this is going to need to be sanded. You know, all of these. So I'm probably going to work on getting my metal parts sanded first and then fitting them, because there's a little bit of, there's some casting mark in here. You know, you can feel there's a ridge in there. I'm going to have to take that ridge out so it fits on here better. But you can see the barrel is very, very polished. And, you know, it has that kind of stuff on it. You can see there. I'm probably going to end up taking that off because I want it to look correct. And on the other side here, probably going to take that off. I'll probably leave that on. You can't see it too much, but I would like to get that lettering off of it. Am I ever going to sell this gun? Probably not. It's going to stay with me, so I'm going to make it look good. And there's the lock. Everything looks good. It's too shiny for me. I got a process of etching it with a battery, a 9-volt battery, and some solution. I'll show you that when I get to that point. But here's that ladder sight, and you know, it was affixed right here. Like I said, a lot of them didn't even have it. They just came with that, and you know, being your front band has your sight on it. But it fits together pretty close. I mean, I've had this in. The lock fits in pretty good. The barrel's sitting a little proud back here. I might have to do a little bit of recess there, not much, but I'll show you one boo-boo that I did. You see that nice dark spot there? You're like, ooh, Brian, that's awful looking. What happened to your stock? Well, the original one, when I put it in there, see, that fits in nice. The other one didn't. And when I tried to pop it out, yeah, she popped that piece of wood out. So I had to glue it back in. No big deal. This one fits in really nice. And there's not too much. Now, see, that's the only problem, because, see, the other one was a little bit big. So I got that, you know, it's not going to be bad. You know, it is what it is. So I'm not too sad about that. Because, of course, this is a little bit smaller than the other one that I put in there, because it was a cast part and it wasn't all nice and polished, and they took it all down around. So now it doesn't fit too much, because when I was fitting the other one in, I had to take out just a hair right here to make it fit. Now it's about a hair too big, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's going to be my gun. Like I said, I'll probably never sell it. Why do I ever sell a gun? But you can see back here, I got some work to do back in here. You know, a little bit here, not much. A little bit of work to do around here. There's a little bit of wood needs picking off there. I mean, a little work to the stock, but no big deal. But I think the first step's going to be working on all these parts, getting the casting marks off. You can see right there, that little casting mark right there, that little line. I got to take that off, and then sand them, and then etch them a little bit so they look good. The only thing I do not have is I don't have my bayonet. I'm going to try to see if I can find a bayonet for these. So I would like to do that at some point. I'll probably get a little kit for it. You know, it'd be nice to get a cartridge box and the thing for your caps and everything like that. So I have all of that for the gun. I think it'd be kind of neat. But I will be going to Gettysburg this year, so maybe I'll look for something while I'm out there, or something online. I don't know. We'll see. But that's it. So I'm going to start working on this tonight. Probably, like I said, working on the metal parts, getting all the casting marks off of it, getting the inside sanded down to where I want it, because then I will fit them to the wood then, fit them to the stock and take down that, instead of fitting them now and then sanding them later, and you're going to have a problem because they're going to fit too loose. And we do not want that. I don't want to have to send back a stock or buy a stock. Well, all right. So the adventure begins. See what I can get done tonight, and then maybe get a video tomorrow.